Okay, everybody. Sound check. Sound check. How you guys doing?
Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast.
All right. Well, we're going to be starting in a couple minutes, so let's get ready. Get yourselves ready, guys. All right. Well, if you enjoyed yesterday's session, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Thanks. Okay.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Let's take first the way. How's everybody doing this morning? First of all, hope you guys had a great day yesterday. If we want to go ahead and look at the month of, the way I like to start is to review my trades for the month. Okay, and so far for the month of October, we're currently sitting at an 83% win rate. Pretty nice. Now, so 83% is pretty good. But of course, we know that it's not going to continue that, right? I say that it's not. It'd be great if we go ahead and look at the end of the month and I'm still at 83%. That'd be awesome. I would do a jump for joy. But, but not, not, not expecting it, right? That's not what I'm expecting. So yesterday, a couple things that developed. I took Euro trade. Euro yen ended up smashing my target, which was really nice. I extended it 90. Then I took a $15 pound trade. I got back in on a pound. Was really not a good idea. So that was me being silly. And I ended up taking a full loser on that, 73.61. And then I took another trade on the euro, made a few dollars back. So overall, on the month, up $170, 83%, pretty good, right? If you guys were in the trades yesterday, you guys remember what had happened. So hopefully you guys did well yesterday also. Let me know in the chat how you guys did yesterday. How did you guys do? Anybody have a good day, bad day, whatever it is, just be open, share, let us know what you're doing, how everything's going, It's important to get feedback, right? It's really important to get feedback on your results, right? And so this is my October sheet. Now I break this down monthly as well. So overall in the month, I'm at 50. This is since I started this account at 58%, and that's 124 trades. So this is a little more accurate data size. The more trades you take, the more data you get about your results, the more you can make future guesses. You can make you can analyze the data and make guesses as to what is going to happen in the future, right? So right now, 124 trades is a good sample size, and now all I need to do is just keep doing this and keep improving my trades, learning things here and there, learning about my setups and all of that stuff. Okay, so I'm getting some people that said they got some nice trades yesterday. Robert was 3 for 3. Dave got 40 pips. And so, listen, if you guys didn't do well, Freddie did good. If you guys didn't do well, don't worry. It's a new day. One person just mentioned that they are still in the loser. Well, make sure you have a stop loss on it. If you take a loss, take a loss, right? It's okay. Because I very well could have a lot of losing days during this time. But to me, I'm going long term and I'm looking at the stats and I've got to take my losses and I'm going to get feedback. I'm going to share my losses with you guys and I'm going to get feedback on those losses. So, so that's really good. So we got, Freddie said he made 53, Yugoslav made $100. So good. I'm really thankful to hear that you guys did good. And the market has been really nice to me recently. I mean, you can look, I've got a really nice streak. I got to highlight this. I try to highlight my losers so they stand out at me. I don't always do it, but I like to. So the market's been good to me, right? Yesterday it did what it was supposed to do. And who tells the market what to do? Nobody. But it was really, the follow through was nice and I hit my targets. That's not going to happen all the time. Sometimes I'll go halfway and it'll turn around and I'll get stopped out, right? So it's not going to happen. Okay, so anyways, this is what I did yesterday. This is where I'm at, with everything. And, I'm on point to accomplishing my goals here on my goal last month was 422. My goal this month is $1,200 for the month of October. So in day one, I got so far I've made $150 in October, right? So I still have a good bit of time. We'll as we get closer, we're going to see how close I'll be able to get to this goal. But it could be good for, it's really good for analyzing and forecasting. So if I can get this 1,200, that'll be really awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead now and do the news. So we've got a Fed news at 10:40. That's going to really impact the dollar. I will probably not be trading at that point. Hopefully all of our trades will be closed. So no impact. Power indicator. The power indicator is showing dollar weakness, Australian weakness, yen weakness, and then CAD strength and euro strength, euro and CAD strength, and Swiss strength. So we've got euro yen buy, which is what we took yesterday. So we're going to go back to that trade and look at it. Euro Australian, euro dollar, which we took a euro dollar. So we were already on board some of those trades from yesterday. And CAD yen and Australian CAD. So let's go ahead and jump to the charts here. Put my platform up, and you can see where my entry was yesterday. And I extended a little bit. It was a pretty nice trade. So now it went right back to where my entry was. Okay, and then it bounced, right? It bounced off of this resistance level. And now today is just a range day. So if we're looking at a daily chart, this is an hourly. Today is it's a doji. See that? That's a range day. So what needs to happen? We've got a really nice bullish candle, but it didn't break out the top. So we're going to be watching this for some more upward move. Yesterday the market did what I wanted. So will it do it again today? I don't know. I would love to see this thing pop, break this, and go to a new level. Sometimes the market will do that for days and days and days when it's in an uptrend, and we just do that every day, right? And then sometimes the market will be a pain in the butt, and it won't do it. So let's look at what the levels look like. So right now, if it even tests this, it's a pretty good trade. So I'm going to actually start out just like I started out yesterday with the euro yen. And I'm going to buy this, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about my risk, how I manage my risk. I'm going to take a picture. I always take a picture and I add it to the spreadsheet. However, the way I do my risk is I use ATR, right? And the ATR was 1.5, and my target's 1.5. And I do that so I can go to a 1-to-1. And the cool thing about this EPIC tool that I have is EPIC. EPIC automatically calculates all that for me, so I don't need to calculate it. So it kind of saves time, makes life easy, and it's really fun to do. So I went ahead and put the trade in. So now I'm going to plug it into the spreadsheet, which is right here. And so so far October's been really good to me. I'm at 83% win rate. As I said, I don't know if that can continue, but we'll let it, sometimes the market will be in a nice roll and it just keeps going, right? So Euro JPY and trade notes, I'm going to put it in here. Always take a picture and write my notes. Euro JPY, the price was bullish yesterday. Today it is going sideways, but has bounced off of yesterday's support level. I am looking for a new high to be made today. And of course, I might be right, but the market could whip me out. I could be like, okay, I'm right, it's going to go up to a new high, but it might take me to hit my stop first and then go. I mean, the market is just so wild sometimes that it just does things that you can never anticipate. I mentioned yesterday that sometimes you can improve your winning percentage if you're just more patient and you wait for the breakout to occur, or you wait for the bullish candle. Yesterday I got in on this red candle, right? I didn't wait for the breakout. However, if I would have been patient and waited for the breakout to happen, I could have hit my target a lot sooner. So that's just me. I try to anticipate the break, and sometimes that gets me into trouble. But in my defense, sometimes we'll see a nice strong break candle like this, and it's just a head fake, and then it drives the price lower. So even though I'm just trying to anticipate price, I can still get faked out, and I found that my anticipation strategy rather than actually getting the breakout works pretty well also. So yeah. And okay, so Andrew is sharing with me, and I'm going to try to hit up some questions, guys, but we got to remember there's quite a few, but there's some really good ones. So yesterday, Andrew did 3 wins for $127. That's awesome. And for the month, Andrew has had 3 wins and 1 loss. So Andrew, that's great. Andrew, I want to ask you a question. So you're profitable in October. Were you profitable in September? And Dave wants me to look at the Swiss yen. Okay, I got your message, John. Thanks. Okay, Swiss yen. So let me go ahead and look at the Swiss yen. But yeah, I'm really thank you for sharing that, Andrew. I'm really glad to hear it. I'm just curious how your September went. Were you profitable? And I would love to see your spreadsheet. And then Ross is asking about my spreadsheet that I'm showing. I'm actually doing something that I've never done before, and I'm giving a consultation, a 15-minute roadmap consultation, and I'll help you use this spreadsheet, and so you can even create a roadmap like this, and it's a 15-minute session. So, so Ross, if that's something you're interested in, let us know, and we'll let you get signed up for that. But I want to, my goal is to help people accomplish their goals and their dreams, and to get out of trading what they want. So I would love to walk people through how to create a roadmap like this, and even more than that, but to actually have them execute it. And the one thing that I wanted people to know about this, Andrew was profitable. Congratulations, Andrew. Good job. Excellent. Excellent work. Okay. Keep it going, man. Here's the thing. Look at this. This isn't a lot of money, right? I'm averaging $28. This is not a lot of money. But the most important thing of this whole thing, it's not about the money. It's about being consistent. Because if you look at the roadmap, we just slowly increase our amount. We're increasing our risk slowly. $50, $50, $50. Oh, here we're increasing it 100. We're increasing it 100, 100. This month we're leaving it the same. Now we increase it 200, 300, 300, 200. Just slow little increments, right? But see, you can't do this. You can't do this unless you learn to take profits consistently out of the market. And it's easier to do with a smaller amount first until you can learn. And then there's a couple things. You can either just slowly scale it like this, or you can add to your account. But again, adding to your account doesn't really help you too much when you're losing every month, right? And so this is all based off of accurate numbers. So what I do is I run in, so my risk to reward is 1.07, and then I go into the planning section and I type in my risk to reward. I say 1.07, right? And then I look at the numbers. I'm winning at 55%. Well, that's $3,000 if I take 15 trades. Well, I'm taking 60 trades. So 60 trades a month, okay, 1.07. If I risk 2,000, then I know that my expectation is $16,000. That's pretty good. So I'll go in here and I'll add it to the goals. Oh, here's my expectation, 18,000, right? So I base this not off of pie in the sky hopes and dreams, but actual data from my trades. So when you when you get in a call with me, I'm going to ask you what your numbers are, right? Because you can't do this if you don't know what your numbers are. So you need to find out. Okay. Now, Andrew was saying that one of the big changes that helped him, right? So Andrew's one of my members in my trading coaching group. He said one of the big things that helped him was he switched his trade strategy, and it increased his profits. And so again, you can't do that though, guys, without knowing you can't do that without knowing what your results are, right? You can't make an adjustment in your strategy unless you're tracking, because you can change something, but you don't know what's working. So this is really critical, and I found that most of the people don't have the discipline to do this. And so this is why it takes so long to be successful in trading, and it takes time to slow down and to track your results. So one of the members wanted to take a look at, Dave wanted to look at the Swiss yen. Really nice up move here. You can see that it bounced off the 100 period. And my moving averages are the 150, 250, all simple. And it bounced right here. And today it's a doji, just like the euro yen. So this could be another opportunity. And today it's actually breaking the high of the day here right now. And we're moving forward. So I like this setup. So I'm actually going to grab this one too. And I use a 1.5 ATR, but my tool automatically does it, which makes life nice. So I'm going to take another picture. Always track all my trades so I can review them see what I did that was really dumb and all that fun stuff. Or I could see what I did that was good. And actually, I forgot to do something I'm going to do here. But let me put this in the spreadsheet. Trade notes. 10-6. And I try to go for 3 trades a day. Yesterday was a few more. Yesterday was a few more. Okay. So we got the Swiss yen and the euro yen. So I got 2 yen trades. So now I want to try to get something else. So I'll start looking at some other options here. And if there's anything you guys want to look at, let me know. But Swiss is in a nice up move today. Just testing high of the day. Hoping for a nice breakout, right? So I like going through and looking at all these trades, and it helps me to figure out what I'm thinking. Because when you take a lot of trades, you don't always know what you're thinking. Okay. Alrighty. So let's see here. I'm trying to do something real quick. Hang on. Let's just keep watching the charts, see what happens here.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Hey Corey, how you doing?
Not too bad. Thank you for unmuting me here. Sorry about that, Casey and everyone. My whole block is out and I'm having severe internet issues. I'm on my cell phone actually right now.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
that happens. That's a good lesson in trading. Be ready for anything. It seems like you're ready, which is good. If that would have happened to me, I might not be here. So
Yeah.
good job.
Well, it took me a few minutes, but I'm hardwired in. I don't use my Wi-Fi. So my laptop's hardwired and it's still nothing. So had to think of something. So here I am on talking to my cell phone with a tiny little screen watching you.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us. Okay, so right now we have the Swiss yen and the euro yen. So I'm going to be watching those trades. But while I'm doing that, let's see. We just broke a level here. So we made a little bit of progress already. Hopefully we'll just get a nice quick momentum and we'll crush into our targets. If we take a look at this channel here, the current size of it is about 50 pips. So if we do get a breakout and it's legit, we could possibly get all the way up to 125.20 level. So that's something to consider. So I'm already testing this high. So if this thing breaks, I'm actually looking at moving this up a little bit because I'm already close to the TP. Let's see. We're at 8 pips away from target, and I'm already 12 pips in profit. So I'm going to actually move this up to about, well, I'm going to put it just under 125 because I think 125, if it breaks, is a great natural target. Like, because it's an even number, and the markets tend to like to go to the even numbers. And so if I can get a little bit of a burst here, that's a really nice possibility, I believe, especially when we look at, if we go from swing high to swing low here, the 161.8 is right at that same level. And so I think a lot of people will be looking at that. So that's where I'm doing my targeting there. If you remember yesterday, the euro yen did a really nice thing for us, and it went right to the target. And again, this isn't me being a good trader. It's just me following a procedure, doing the same thing every day, and the market is now doing something that's good. Next week, it might not be so good, or even today, you know, I see this little pin bar. It could be like, okay, we're faking out, and then it reverses on me. So when you're in a nice uptrend like this, like, okay, we have a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days. We got 4 days in a row moving up. The market will do that a lot. You know, like this move here. See this move right here? From all the way from June 22nd all the way up to, what day is that? The 13th. So like 2 months. It just goes up every day for 2 months. So when we're taking this one trade at a time, every time it breaks the new high, you just catch in on it, you know. And sometimes it fakes. Like, okay, today people were like, oh, it's going to break. You see this candle I'm isolating right here? Oh, it's going to continue. Well, it didn't continue that day. Oh, it's going to continue. Oh, it didn't continue that day, but it did 1, 2, 3 days. So you might lose these 3, but then these 3 you win. You just cannot predict what it's going to happen. But what you do is you just trade it. You manage your trade as good as you possibly can, and then you act accordingly. Okay, so let's look at the USD CAD. USD CAD. That was one of the trades on the power indicator. So right now, you can see this is moving down, okay? That means USD weakness. And today, there was a little bit of Canadian strength, I believe. Let me just pull up the power indicator again. Canadian strength, dollar weakness. Euro strength, dollar weakness. So we'd want to look at euro dollar and CAD dollar for potential setups. Okay. So right now we're moving down. We're currently sitting at a level that's pretty strong. You see that level? So let's take a look what it looks like on a lower time frame. So we tested it once, and now we're trying to do it again. So it's bouncing off, and I take my trades off an hourly time frame to give myself a little bit bigger stop. So right now this is actually bouncing, but this could be an opportunity to get in. So if this drops again, we'll really consider shorting this. This looks like a pretty good setup. But while I'm waiting for it to bounce down more, let's look at the euro. So the euro dollar is also breaking a high. So this is actually a good setup as well. So I got to decide, do I want euro dollar or USD CAD? Because I remember, you may not, I have a max loss policy. So in order for me to take another trade, I absolutely have to either win a trade or lock some profit in before I take more than 3. So the euro dollar is actually making the move right now, so I'm going to just take that one, and we're going to do euro dollar. USD CAD is good, but I'm going with the dollar because it's actually making the break, whereas USD CAD is bouncing. So making the euro dollar, let's take an image of it. Euro dollar. And take a picture. Upload. So this is a nice little tool. This is from TechSmith, and it allows me to keep pictures of everything. So now I have 3 trades on, okay? And so I cannot take any more trades until I lock in profit or get a win, because I have a max loss policy, and my last max loss is $225. So I actually like to trade daily. I like to look at the daily for the power indicator. Someone was asking about that. So I'm just saying that the dollar is strong, the dollar's weak, the euro's strong, and price is breaking high of the day. So now that I have my 3 trades on, it took me about 30 minutes to get the trades on, and now the hard part actually happens, and that's managing the trades. So once the trade develops, now I have to manage it, and I'm going to continue to manage these trades. I'm going to look at this Euro USD CAD too, because what could happen is I could lock in this US Euro Yen, lock it in to break even, and then take the USD CAD. And what that would actually do for me is it would still protect my max loss. But I don't want to actually lock it in yet because it's still trying to fight with this level. So I'm going to hold off on locking in profit. If you look at the VSPRO here, the USD CAD did just make a move above here. So the blue is above the red, so that means we're allowed to trade. Euro, it's above, and Euro Yen is also above. So all 3 are set up on the VSPRO. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the targets that we have set. I already looked at the Euro Yen and I extended it. I want to look at this Swiss Yen and see where I think it could go. So we have the channel here is about 25 pips. So if it breaks the top, it could go 25 pips, I think. Price about 115.88. So I'm gonna not move my target right now just because it's retracing here. But if we do break up above some of these highs one more time, I will probably extend my target a little bit. Let's take a look at the Euro USD. So it did break. I got in a little bit late. Would have rather got in here on this anticipation candle. Would have given me a little easier to a target. But, you know, nothing's perfect here. But I do like the follow through that I'm seeing. But we're getting a little bit of a pushback right now. Okay, so what I do when I'm looking for trades, the whole point of this tool is this VSPRO, is that it just measures the volatility, right? Because I don't want to trade on a sideways market. So when the market's going sideways, and you can look at it with your eyes, but this is just a visual representation. When the market's going sideways, it doesn't clear me to trade until we get some volatility. And when the blue is on top of the red, it indicates that there's volatility, so then I'm okay to take the trade. Okay, so one thing to note here is my account is up $30 as of right now. And my goal is to try to win every day. And so that means I want to aggressively manage my risk. So right now I have $225 of risk on, and that's my max loss. So if I get that, I got to take a break. I got to stop. I don't want to hit that, so I want to be aggressive to move my stop. So with the Euro Yen, it's moved nicely and it broke this high. So if it can cross above this high one more time, I'm going to move my stop. And I'm not sure exactly where I'll move it to right now. I'll have to look at it. But I probably would move it to maybe right here, about a 5-pip stop if I can get another burst. And so the reason I do that is to try to eliminate myself from getting a max loss. I'd rather take a small loser than a big loser any day. So anytime I'm at my $70 loser mark, I call that a big loser. I'd rather take a $10 loser, $20 loser, anything I'd like to take. And that's why if we look up at my spreadsheet here, you'll notice my losses are $26 on average, but look at my risk. I'm risking a lot more. So that's what I risk, but my real risk is only 26 because why? Because I'm always locking in profit. And I look at my equity too. My equity right now is at 1341, and I know that my all-time high on this account was 1360. So anytime I can close where my account makes a new high on the day, that's always good. So if I get to the point where I'm at a new high of the day, I'm going to be being a little more aggressive as well. Well, let's look at the USD Swiss. So if very similar to the USD CAD, today has been a down day. It broke that level yesterday, and it didn't have a ton of follow through, but it did have some follow through. If you see here when it broke, depending on where you would have put your trade, but that's a 14 pip move. So let's do our levels here. Our stop loss on this particular pair is 11 pips. So if you would have taken a trade right on this break or in anticipation of the break, you would have probably hit your target on the USD Swiss yesterday. And depending on how patient you were, it might have even gone a little further. A lot of times I don't hit extended targets because I'm just not that patient on the follow through, because I'll close it a little early just because I don't like to watch trades all day. Yesterday was nice because I had a really strong burst. If you look at yesterday's move, just boom, went right up to a 50 pip move. So that's the ideal situation, is when you get that market move and the price just launches. All right, so the Swiss yen on a 15-minute time frame is looking pretty nice. So we do have this pin bar pushing it down, but we have a bounce here. So the way that I'm going to manage this trade is, if I can break this level right here, I'm going to move my stop loss to this point, okay? Which would then take my current stop loss is right at 17 pips. And if I get this movement, I'll drop it all the way down to 3 pips. So that'll be a really nice, place to put my stop and eliminate a lot of risk. So as far as trailing stops go, I personally just do everything manually. But it's because I only trade about an hour or two a day, and I figure I can manually manage that while I'm trading. I've tried a whole bunch of automatic trailing stops, and I've never found one that worked very well, because the market is always whipping in and out, and my manual method seems to work better than any trailing stop that I've ever had. I should ask my product developer, who is actually in here today. I should ask him if he could do a stop loss that worked something like this, that was based off of like fractals. So if it breaks this level, move the stop loss to the next level. And then if it comes up and it breaks a new level, then move the stop loss here. And then if it comes down and it breaks this level, then move the stop loss here. I wonder if we could build a trailing stop that does that. If that was the case, then I would probably give it a shot and test it and see if it worked. I personally haven't seen one. So the tool that I use right here, this is the EPIC Money Management tool. It's a really helpful because it does a lot. It's multifunctional, but I don't think the stop loss does that. So I personally never use it. But I'm finding all the time that it does a lot of things I don't know, and I'm getting educated on my own tools. Okay, so euro yen is coming back, euro dollar is coming back too. So hopefully we don't get 3 max losses. Hopefully the market will bounce a little bit for us. So this tool right here on my screen, that's called EPIC Money Management Tool. It's a special program that works with MT4 that I created. And actually, I didn't create, but I told people to create it for me. All right, so right now is a really critical time on this euro. So if you notice where this level is, this is a shelf, and we have some resistance here. It'll be interesting to see if the price can bounce off of this, if the momentum will take it off. If we can get a bounce off here, I should be okay. If it doesn't, then that'll be a loser.
Casey, if it breaks through that previous resistance and it's going towards your stop loss, would you cut that out short?
Would I take a short trade reverse on it?
No. Would you take your stop loss out a little quicker since it passed that shelf?
You know, I could actually do that. So so I just zoomed up a little bit. So if you notice, let's draw a line here. This is where the resistance point is. So I could potentially tighten this now if it breaks and eliminate some risk. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So there's always a balance. There's always a balance. And the balance is keeping your stop tight versus loose. And whenever you adjust it, it's going to automatically increase your winning percentage, and it's going to keep your loss sizes small. So if I move it, there's nothing wrong with doing that, that would take it now to a $54 loss, and that's better. It's keeping my losses smaller, and it's a nice level. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, if I leave it here, it gives me a little bit more cushion for a head fake. So let's say that the market wants to move up, but there's not enough buyers in here to push it up. So it has to push the price down a little bit further, because I'm always trying to think about what the market's doing behind the scenes. So if this market really wants to go up, which it might, I don't know if this is a reversal or if it's just trying to pick up some buyers. So the market might be trying to go up, but there's not enough buyers. So they come down here and they try to pick up buyers in here. Well, then it fakes and shakes all these guys out who have this tight stop. And then it picks up more buyers down here, and then it bounces here and goes up. So the answer to your question is that would be a great place to put your stop, and there's nothing wrong with it. And it's really up to you. It does give you a little bit more room in case it's a fake out and it goes right back in your direction. So sometimes the market will like to fake you out and then go right in your continued direction. So in a ability for me to try to increase my winning percentage, I like to leave it on a little bit looser until I can break a new high. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about today with trading is, so my product manager is saying, yes, you can actually do that. That would be good. If it works well, that would be a really nice stop loss strategy, I think, because that's what I do manually. So one of the things I wanted to talk about with trading and why I think trading is so hard. I think learning these patterns and learning about price action and looking at indicators and all this stuff is really not that difficult. But I think the hard part is really mastering yourself, right? And it's about your belief systems, about how you are working in self-control and really understanding the markets, right? So seeing patterns, that's not quite the same thing. You got to really understand what's happening behind the scenes, kind of like I was talking about, um, this level here, and saying, okay, the price is trying to go higher, but it's picking up buyers and sellers. Just kind of knowing what's happening behind the scenes, what's going on with traders' emotions, how traders are feeling. A lot of traders are really emotional, right? And I'm emotional, but I'm trying to eliminate the emotions from my trading just by following a system rather than getting worked up over about it. The market I have no control over. It's either going to move forward or not. No reason for me to get excited about. But so it's learning to master that part of it, learning to master your emotions, learning to control your discipline, understanding exactly what's going on. One of the things that I've been studying recently is something they call the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. And it basically says something like, you're going to make most of your money from 20%. You're going to make 80% of your profit from 20% of your trades, right? And so if you know that, and that's a principle that you find in life everywhere, like, okay, 20% of your activities is going to produce 80% of the results in your life, right? So that activity, knowing that, the market, you find it everywhere, but it's in the market too. And it's not going to be exact, but it's usually pretty close. So knowing that out of all the trades I can take in the market, there's only, there's only 20% that are going to really yield some good results. So it's having the understanding about how to find those 20%, how to find the best trades, right? And really learning that. And then on top of that is then cutting those losers and putting when you're down, everybody wants to hang on to a loser trade. But if you're looking at the 80-20 principle, if I know that 80% of the trades are bad, I want to rotate my money from the bad trade into the good trade. So I want to immediately cut this loss and then roll it into something that's going to make me some money. So, that's one of the reasons why it takes so long to become successful. And just in all the traders I'm talking with, I run a podcast. It's called the How to Trade It podcast. If you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend it because I talk to a lot of expert traders and just get insight from them. And, just doing that has really helped me out a lot. But after talking to so many traders, I realized that the average amount of time that it takes to be successful in this is really long, right? I mean, I had an interview with Al Brooks, and he is a legendary trader. He's really successful, and it took him a total of 10 years. And he's about as good as it gets. So if it takes him 10 years, then we can expect that it's going to take you that time, right? So don't be discouraged if it takes you time. It's going to take everybody a different amount of time, but you got to master yourself and really work on the things that you need to work on. So right now we got a little bit of a bounce here right off of the shelf that I was talking about, but it could be just a recentering before going lower. We'll see what happens. I'm just kind of, just like yesterday, I'm waiting. And so remember, I talked about this stop loss, and if I would have moved it, I would have already been out. So it just gave me a little more time. It might roll right back over again, but maybe not. So it gave me a little more time so that gives me some more time for the market to change its mind. So right now it's at a resistance point because it just broke this level right here to the downside, and now it's testing it. So now is the moment of truth. Is it going to break back up, or is it going to roll over and we're going to see further losses? So I don't know what's going to happen. So you can never predict what's going to happen. You can try to anticipate, but no one knows for sure. Yeah. So right now, the euro dollar is my worst looking trade. It's getting closer to the stop, and you know, I set up my trade to be a 1.5 ATR. There's a lot of different ways you can set your stops. You don't have to do that. The reason I do that is because it counts back, so it's on based off the hourly time frame. It counts back 14 periods, and it does the average price. So if the average movement over the last 14 hours was 10 pips, then it'll set that 10 times 1.5. So that would be 15, right? And it gives it a little bit of a boost, so you can expect on average your trades will last a little over an hour or so, just because of the ATR, right? And so right now looks like a really big doji, so that means with this candle closing, it could attract a lot of sellers, right? Oh, it's a breakout, right? Do you see? We were talking about fake breakouts. We had a big, strong move here right up into this level. Right here's the level. Price took off, and now it's a fake, right? And so we get head fakes all the time. Head fakes happen all the time in the market, and we just have to realize that. And you, I don't know. I should probably do the research and find out. And maybe this is something that you guys want to become really great traders. Then you could do the research, but find out how often do these. Like if you look at an hour time frame, and when there's a breakout, how often do they head fake, right? And then help develop your strategy based on that. If we go back and look at some of these, how often do these breakouts reverse? Right, we can just kind of look and see if we see any fake outs here. Right, here was one. Okay. It tried to break, and then this was a serious attempt. This is the new day on London. So it tried to break 1, 2, and then even on London it tried, but it didn't get a lot of momentum. Nice bullish candle. A lot of people are going long. It went up, and then it had a massive meltdown. Right? You see that? Boom. Breakout, massive meltdown. Okay? And you'll see that, right? You'll see that happen. Here was one too, right? Tried to break, went down, didn't follow through, tried it one more time, and tried it one more time right here, didn't make it. Tried it one more time here, didn't make it. Tried it one more time, didn't make it, right? So just from looking at this, if you're trying to catch breakouts, you're going to be wrong quite a bit, right? You're going to be wrong quite a bit. Here's a fake out. Now this one actually worked, but then when it worked, it went down, broke to the downside, and then took off, right? So it broke it, went right back to where the entry was, and then you got in. So it's hard to predict what is going to happen. That's why trade management is really critical, right? That's why managing your stops is really important, and trying to hold out to hit your targets is really important. Yesterday, we held out on the euro yen to catch a bigger target. And so today, if I end up taking a loser, well, I got a $90 winner yesterday, so that helps me long term. I'm getting a comment from Nick. He's like, he's really accepting the time investment now. It's mastering your own stupid behaviors, or you keep doing stupid stuff over and over and over again, and it's costing you ever time. Yeah. No, that's really true, man. That's really true. That's one of the reasons why it's so tough. I think it's because it's counterintuitive. We just don't like taking losers. It's like, okay, how can taking losers help me make money? In my mind, that just doesn't seem to work, and I hate losing. And so forcing myself to hit those stops is like, it's just such a pain. But, you know, I've gotten good at it, right? And even, you know, even once you master the first part of taking the losses, you could be a guy that you're good at taking the losses, but then you still need to learn how to actually learn to take money from the market. I know some traders that are really disciplined. They follow their stops over and over again, but then they just keep watching their accounts drain because their discipline is good, but they haven't learned the art of learning to take the money out of the market. So that is another challenge in itself. So the euro yen is hanging in there pretty nice. So if we get a little bit of a bounce here, we have a nice little stair step thing going on here. Take a look at this. So we have up, down, up. Every time it breaks, it's respecting the level. Every single time. It's been doing that all session. So the question is, will it do it one more time? Will it respect it one more time? My entry, I would have been up about 15 pips, which is a pretty good trade. So I have to go back and watch the recording to see. But being up 15 pips is pretty decent. So I might have been a little premature in raising my target. You know, and that's one of the things that I like to analyze. I'm like, okay, did I mess up my trade because I got too aggressive? Sometimes just a little bit of a trade is a good trade. You got to take what the market gives you, not try to force it. Okay, I hit my euro loss. Okay, so let's put that in the notes here. I hit euro loss, euro USD, and we'll just chalk that one up for a fake breakout. This was breaking out and then formed a doji. It was a fake break that I fell for. I will go back and take a look at breakout candles and see if there is anything I can find that will help me not fall for breakouts, right? So, you know, we want to do the very best we can to avoid that. I haven't learned a total way to avoid it fully, but my timing was really bad on that. So I'm going to actually add that on there too. Because, you know, when you do something wrong, you don't want to, like, in the past, I was really emotional, and I'd be like, oh man, I'm not looking at this. Like, I wouldn't even look at it because I just felt terrible. Like, I wouldn't even go back and look at the trade. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that. But that's how you get better, is by looking at the mistakes and really taking ownership over it. And John is here, and he's an expert on the euro dollar. He's telling me I was being really stupid. Just kidding. He didn't say that. He's too nice. My timing was really bad on this trade. I got in really late. Was more like chasing it rather than waiting for it to come to me. I need to be more patient. So you got to remember, you know, we look at our trade sheet. I'm going to go look at my other trades here. We look at the trade sheet, guys, and every time you look at my, I've got to put my numbers in here. Every single time that you can avoid a losing trade, you know, that will help you. It'll help you long term, because this is a long term deal. So it was minus 71.02. This is a long term thing. Okay, so what that means is if long term I can avoid a loss by making an adjustment over the course of thousands of trades, that could equal a lot of money. One small adjustment can equal a lot of money long term. And so if you can write in your trade notes and you can figure something out, and you know, being familiar with this and just focusing on it, using the power of our minds and just really focusing and being consistent and compounding and just taking your time going over these trades, eventually you're going to see some really big breakthroughs. Okay, and it just takes time to learn this stuff. But if you make one little adjustment, if I learn one little way to stop falling for these breakouts and then I adjust it over time, that's going to have a compounding impact. It's going to take my winning percentage from 58% to 60. And the difference between 58% and 60 long term is massive. Or it's going to take my average win to average loss and increase it by 50 cents. And over time, that's massive, because this is a long-term game. This isn't about what you did today. It's about the changes that you make today, what it's going to do for your trading a year from now. So just something to think about. And you know, me, I'm all like emotionally, I'm like, oh, see, if I would have just moved my stop a little bit more, right? Oh, now I want to get back in. And I would get back in normally. Like this, oh, this is, if we get some more momentum, if this thing goes, I'm getting back in. But I can't because of my risk rules, right? Because what happens is you get emotional. I got two trades I haven't locked in yet. Well, I probably don't want to get in, because now I could lose these two plus the one I already lost, and then now my max loss goes out the window, and then I get all mad at myself and I have a much bigger losing day than what I could. Yes, it might bounce and I might make my money back. I might make up for this loser, but it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk of taking a bigger max loss day. So the first day of training was a winning day. Let's see what happens in this one. The USD CAD bounced hard. It really bounced hard off that level. And so now we're still in a range. So now there's a couple different options. If you are still looking at trading this, there's a couple different options we could look at. Number one is a breakout, which this would be a reversal. Right, so a reversal and then up higher. So if you took that, it could go, you know, we look at 22 pips, target somewhere up here. That's one option. Another option is it comes up here into this area where this moving average is and then drops. So a lot of times I like to use this moving average as a point to get into on a downtrend. So the price wasn't ready yet. It was a break. It bounced off a resistance, but it wasn't quite ready, right? We didn't have enough sellers to push the price down. So what does that mean? Well, it means it needs to go up and get more sellers. Well, where are their sellers at? If you're a seller, where are you hanging out? Well, I know they like to hang out at this resistance point where this blue line is, and I know they like to hang out where this 50-period moving average is. So look at what we noticed from a couple days ago, right? Right in here. See this? Look at this. resistance, 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 and then down it goes. Okay, so there were all these people trying to get this thing break out, but it didn't want to go, and it took. So just a note, like on that euro dollar trade that I lost, sometimes the best way to get into a trend is to wait for it to come back and hit the opposite level. Okay, so rather than trying to catch a breakout, which I love breakouts, right? But a really good way to catch trades is to wait. So let me go back to an hourly and zoom out and get an example. Wait for the price to come down here. The problem is you got to know the timing and the patience. Wait for it to come back here. And usually, this is what I'm finding, is that these tests happen in the London session. And John can probably attribute to that and agree with me. So if you want to wait for an entry off of a support level, or in the case of the USD CAD, wait for the entry on the resistance level, a lot of times that will happen in the London session. But I am not trading that session, and I'm not going to trade that session. So I have to make my trading plan work for me in the session that I'm trading. So Euro Yen is still hanging in there. And let's take a look at what the Swiss Yen's doing. So Swiss yen looks really similar to the euro, or to the euro yen. Nice strong bullish candle. This one I still think we got a chance on it. I think we got a chance on both these. So if I end up making money on both of these, then I'll still have a really good day. I think there's definitely an opportunity here. It might whip me right out just because that's what the market likes to do, but I think we have an opportunity. So I'm going to look at this euro again just because, the more you look at it. Let me delete some of these lines. I'm now looking at a daily time frame. So what I noticed here is that we do have a bit of a triangle here, okay? So I personally think that this is a great way to get into a trade by drawing a triangle on a daily. You see how it's an uptrend, it's testing this 50 period, and it's testing this level. So yes, I missed it, but when we get a triangle like this, you could also maybe call this a flag. Let me delete this and redraw it. You could draw this as a flag maybe, like this. Like that, a little channel. So what are some potential options that we could do here? The more familiar you are with analyzing it, the better you're going to be on your trades when you actually trigger them. But just some options. Could go up to this, channel trade a little bit, and then what's it going to do? It's going to keep getting smaller and smaller, and eventually it's going to break here, or it's going to break here, right? So I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know if this channel is going to hold. I don't know. I have no idea, but I know that when you see a channel like this, it can be a really solid trade. So if we get some more momentum here, this could be a great trade from here to here. And I really like those trades. It's just the hard part is waiting for them to happen. I actually caught one that was very similar to that last week. Let me see if I can go back and find it. It was on the pound. And yesterday I had a nice little pound trade, but the day before that, it was right here. You see there's this little channel. Wait, it was on an hourly time frame like this. And I just drew this and I said, look, if we break out of here, it's going to be good. And I actually caught this trade from here, maybe a 50 pip trade. It was really nice. So now, if we look at the pound, again, so now I haven't looked at the pound yet, we're at a support level. So this could be a really nice entry, taking this off of support. If we got a bounce, it follows up, could be a really nice trade. I'm not taking it though. I'm not taking it, not until I can lock in some profit. So maybe I'll lock in some profit on this and take another trade because I can't go past max loss. Not doing it. So still some opportunity here, I think, on the pound dollar, on the euro dollar, USD CAD. You know, it's been moving up, but it looks to me like it's trying to catch some sellers up here. So we could go up here and look for a short. You could try a breakout reversal too, but I'm more inclined to believe that it wants to go short right now. Okay, Swiss yen. Swiss yen's back in profit, so already my losses are not as ugly as they were. If I could even just close this, I'd still have a losing day, but it would be less of a loser. And guess what? It's better to lose less than it is to lose more. It's not good to lose, but it's better to lose less than to lose more. Okay, so the euro yen is moving up right now, and nice little bullish candle. If we break this level, if we break it, I'm definitely locking in some profit. Or not profit, but I'm going to move my stop. And the Swiss yen is not looking as good as the euro right now, but it is still trying. So if we break up, I'm going to move my Swiss yen stop here, which would be about a 4 pip stop. And on the euro, I'm going to move it pretty tight, about a 5 pip stop. So had I moved my stop on the euro dollar, like we were talking about, because Corey mentioned that was a great question. Had I done that, I would have been able to save myself $20. And, you know, you do that over a long enough period of time, that adds up. But again, it's kind of a trade-off with the losing percentage. Okay. I should have got back in, huh? No, I should not have. I cannot violate my rules. I'm not going to do it. Okay, so something to note here. I'm currently at the exact same equity as when I started the day. So I took a loser, but right now I'm at the exact same equity. So if I closed these trades, that would be a break even. So just something to consider. You know, if you're having a rough day or you're not feeling the market or you're just, you know, whatever, you could be like, okay, I'm going to close these and I'm going to have a break even day. There's no shame in it. I'm feeling pretty good about these trades right now just because of this nice momentum that we're seeing. So I'm gonna ride it out. See, Euro yen is testing one more time. So if we get this momentum, I think the second test is going to be a lot better. So I'm going to ride it out because why? Because I know that long term, if I let these winners run a little bit, it'll cover the losers. So, but there's no shame in taking a break-even day, not at all. Yeah, so crude is strong today, and so if we try to look at that and compare that to the USD CAD, crude has a good impact on the Canadian dollar. So when you see that, they do correlate. I don't study crude much, so I don't know for exactly how they move together, but I do know that when you see crude, a lot of times you can see the CAD. All right, so the yen is stalling out. We got that tried to break, and now it's getting a little bit of a pushback. Let's see if we can get some more of these buyers push it through. It tried 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 5th attempt. So we'll see. It really has acted like it wants to go. And if we notice, it has continued to make new highs, but this time it's not doing it. So I'm actually wanting this to break. I'm really wanting this to break, but if we keep moving down, I'm definitely going to move my it's definitely going to move my stop here. All right. So when you're trying to really pinpoint your trading strategy and make increase your winning percentage, the very best thing you can do. Remember earlier, if for those of you that have been on the whole session, you can look at your breakouts, find out which ones fail, and do just a manual back test and just really get some good data on it. Other things you can do is you can mix and combine different indicators together. I really like the VSPRO to generate volatility, to give me a volatility, but you can combine that with another indicator like the RSD, not RSD, RSI. You could combine it with the MACD. You could combine it with Bollinger Bands and really see what happens with it. But the thing is, whatever you do, you got to really test it, right? That's why this spreadsheet is really critical. You got to test it to see um, what's going to happen. And then when you do, you generate a set of data, and you just keep analyzing that data. And, data is everything in business. The companies that are making billions of dollars, like Google and Facebook, it's all about their data collection, right? That's why they analyze every single thing that you do when you're on their platform. Is they're studying you, and to them, their market is people, right? Well, the Forex market's people buying and selling. So the market is people, and you want to analyze that data, then learn, because the data doesn't lie, right? This data that we're collecting doesn't lie, but we have to make good decisions based off of what the data is telling us. So whatever you're doing, you really want to analyze your data and figure out and come up with a plan. And as you do that, your trading is going to get better and better, right? And that's just the way it is. And so right now it looks like the market's giving it another shot here. Looks like it's trying again. I saw the euro. It's trying. There's a little bit of a fight here, right? We'll see what happens. See who's going to win. The buyers and the sellers are in a massive battle right now. We have quite a few pushback candles in both directions, and I'm not going to get all emotional. Obviously, I want the the buyers to win, but yeah, it's a lot of trading happening right now. But as I was saying, we want to look at our spreadsheets and really analyze the data. Make good decisions, and as you analyze it and you make it better, your trading is going to get better and better. Okay, so since we're at this level, okay, and it didn't break like I was hoping, okay, it's still early, but I am going to move my stop just because we're right here, and so it could easily get rejected. So I'm going to move my stop here, and I'm going to give it a little bit of room, but I want to eliminate my risk because I've already taken a full loser. I don't want to take a max loss day. So I've just eliminated my risk down to about 5 pips on this right now, and I'm going to do the same thing on the euro yen. Let's go ahead and try to get a better price. Just because it's pushing up at these levels, it's either going to reject or not, but I want to remove as much risk as I possibly can here. So I've got 2 pips of risk on the euro and 5 on the Swiss. So now my max loss, I've already lost 70. We know that at the start of my day, my max loss is 225. $225. Okay. But I lost 70. I have currently how much risk is here? I have $20 of risk plus 7. So I have 27 plus the 71 that I already lost. So we're looking at about $100. So I still now have. So now that I've dropped my total risk to $100. Remember, my max loss day is 225. So now that I've tightened, I can actually go ahead and take another trade. So if this USD CAD looks good, if I think that this thing's up into this area and I think it's going to drop, I could take a USD CAD. If I think the pound yen, pound dollar. Look at the pound dollar. If I was talking about getting this on a bounce. If I think the pound dollar is going to make a move, let's look at it on a daily. then I could go ahead and take the pound dollar trade. So I have some room now to take an additional trade. So I do 3 trades a day, my max risk, but that's how I manage my risk. I actually got a comment here in the chat about back testing. Here's an article that you could check out on how to back test. Gives you some really good insight. So pound dollar, we've got a bounce. It's been rejected. What's it look like? It's if I would have taken it on this, it would have already hit my target big time. So I'm going to hold off on it. Not sure what's going on. So Swiss yen is really looking a little bit better than the euro yen right now. I'm actually up with, for the first time, my profit is better on this trade. So that is good. That means the Swiss is gaining in strength. And it just crossed that high. It just broke that high that we were looking at. So that's a good sign. When you can make a new high, that's a good indicator that it wants to continue to make more new highs. Okay, we're significantly moving above that, so so that's a really good good indicator right now. Swiss yen is making a new move, so euro hopefully will follow. And USD CAD is popping up to the top of this range and up into this area. So if I'm still trading when it gets up here, I'm going to be looking for signal of some kind that it wants to go back down. Into the level, into the moving average, and then a reversal candle telling me that it wants to go lower. Okay, so Swiss yen, I drew a swing high to swing low here on a fib, and I was just looking at a potential target. You can see that the 161.8 extension is at 115.85. So I'm thinking about moving my target a little bit. I am up $80, so if I close both these trades out, guess what? It's a winning day. So that would be one winner, or two winners and one loser. and 60 some percent winning average with and make my day a winning day. So I don't want to get greedy. You want to say, okay, I want to be strategic and make my decision based off of what the market will give me, right? So I see a nice bullish candle. It looks pretty bullish here. It's breaking the level. It could have been a head fake like what we just saw in the euro dollar, but it tried twice. One failure, two failure, now it's trying again, and so it's got some momentum. So I could try to extend this a little bit. Current price is at 65, so even if I just get a few more pips, maybe up here to 78 or 80, that would extend my profit to $88, and it would cover the loss. That means that would be 1-to-1, and what I mean by 1-to-1 is I took a loser on the euro dollar at 70. I'd take a winner here on the Swiss yen at 88. And so my winner would be bigger than my loser. And if I can do that, then long term I'll do great, right? So the euro yen, I already extended my target. I'm not decided on it yet because the momentum hasn't really followed through, but I have reduced a lot of risk. I'm still not totally out of the woods yet. It could easily reverse on me. And, you got to be willing. It's good to look at what's happening in the markets and say, oh, this could reverse on me and I could come up a big losing day, right? I realize that could still happen. And and the reason I'm aware of it, because it's happened to me so many times. I've been up a lot of money and the market just hits a level and it turns and I end up thinking that I was profitable on the day and it ends up giving it all back. And that's always really hard emotionally to handle. So right now I'm up and it's a winning day, so it won't be official till I can close the trade. Always remember, it's not official till you close the trade. And so we broke the level, and now we're retesting. So I would anticipate buyers getting in here on this retest. Thanks, Tito. Appreciate the compliment. Go ahead and hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. So, Corey, you still on your phone?
I am. It's a little smaller than my screens, but yeah, I'm here.
What do you know what happened to cause your internet to go down?
No, I'll have to call my provider when I'm off with this session. I don't know about any of my trades or anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm kind of in blackout mode here.
Well, it's a good thing you use stop loss.
Yep, all the time.
Yeah, gives yourself the ultimate protection there. So that's good. Okay. So euro yen is trying again. Swiss yen's trying again, and I'm thinking about some of these other trades. The pound dollar was really interesting to me. I was thinking about catching it off this bounce, but it's been really whippy. And one thing I hate is getting whipped out. So I'm going to pass on that, even though it's looked like it could have been a good trade. I'm just going to pass on it for now. And I'm going to be watching this USD CAD because I have the ability to get into a trade. So this USD CAD is entering into a good sell zone, in my opinion. So I'm going to be watching this candle, see if we get any downward momentum here. All right, so I'm up $100. I love that. Still not at an all-time high on the account. Uh-oh. Rejecting on me.
Casey, are you able to go to the Euro odd for a couple minutes?
Sure. Did you
Please?
have a trade on there?
I did from yesterday.
Okay. What was your trade? It's gone up a good bit today.
1.64218 I got in.
Okay, 1.64. Okay, so you're actually up pretty nice. Was it like a break of the daily high?
Let me check.
218. Not quite a break, but yeah, if it, well, yeah, pretty close. So that's actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, that was a break of the high of the day there.
Yeah, so if you're still in that, do you remember where your target was?
Target is 65070.
Oh, so that was a big swing trade, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's on point. It's looking pretty good. I actually didn't look at this on the beginning of the session, but it's moving up a little slower. It slowed down a little bit, but still moving up. It currently has a level here that is. So the thing is, if you were managing this, I would definitely try to lock in some profit. But you've got this level here at 164.85 that has been tested 3 times.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for asking about it. Any other trades you got you want to look at?
No, I was just in that one.
Okay, so I want to lock in this profit, but it doesn't actually make sense to do so from a charting method, just because this is the resistance area. So I want to lock in because I just don't want to take any more risk. But I'm just being a little bit patient here. If it even gets close to this top again, I'm gonna do it. And Euro Yen is really struggling with this level, so I'm gonna be watching that to tighten up too. I've only got $7 of risk, so, but it's really struggled. All right, so I'm watching my trades. We've lost a little bit here, and so it's getting a little bit of rejection on the Euro Yen and the Swiss Yen. And I'm still watching the USD CAD for potential entry. And Euro Dollar was the trade that I lost. Here would have been a pretty decent entry. It bounced about 15 pips, but it's actually struggling right now too. So I'm gonna hold off for now. But if we get any kind of downward momentum here on this USD CAD, I might get into this one as well. Okay, well, we're getting some serious rejection, so I'm actually going to take this and move my stop. Yes, it's the natural area for resistance, and I could easily go in, hit my stop, and bounce, but you know what? I just want to keep my risk low. And if I end up hitting my stop on some of these trades, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'll be honest. I'll be a little disappointed. But ultimately, I try to always look at the perspective. Yes, I was up $85. I could have closed it and had a winning day, but I always like to give myself a little bit of room just to try to get a little bit more. Just try to get a little bit more. And sometimes that hurts me, but most of the time, my patience pays off. And so if I go back like yesterday, we just look at yesterday, and I'll look at yesterday real quick. Yesterday, I was patient, and I hit a really big winner, okay, on this euro yen. And that really helped push me to an all-time high on the account. So today it didn't work out, or it's not over yet. Today it might not work out, but I know that most of the time, not most of the time, a lot of the times when I hold out, it helps, right? It helps me grow my account. And that's really what I'm trying to do. So it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but it just has to be a little bit every day. And a little bit here and a little bit there will make a big difference long term, because we got to look at the long-term picture, right? I look at everything at a long-term and short-term at the same time. So another thing to help me with my decision making is, you can see it's rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, and now a fifth rejection. So since that rejection is looking pretty serious right now, the sellers are probably getting really excited, and people are probably jumping on short. You can see it happening. So if this shelf goes here, if we see this shelf go, then I would definitely say the price could get back down here. And I could take that trade. You know, I have no problem taking a short to the bottom of this level, but I'm only trade a certain amount of time every day, and so I'm not going to take it. And my Swiss yen is now giving up everything. I'm going to actually just close that Swiss yen right now. It's bouncing up just a bit. I didn't quite pull the trigger. I'm going to tighten it.
I've done that before as well, Casey, gone down to the 1 minute to watch my stop.
Yeah.
And what I've done is I put it right below that green candle. I don't know if that's correct or not, just to lock in. I let it ride, but I put my stop loss just below the wick.
You know, that
is that something?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a really good thing, because I just, you know, it's a little disappointing because I was hoping it would run and it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can get a little bit out of it, it's not going to really help me too much, but it will be something. So, it could be a well, it's still, the Swiss yen's still bouncing. We'll see what happens. Okay, well, I'm getting a comment here from Isaac. He's done really well since working with me. He started with $500 and he's now at 5,000, and he wants me to take a look at his spreadsheet. So I'm gonna actually do that, and he's really doing really well. So that's awesome. And in talking with Isaac, he has been trading for 9 years, and this is the first time that he has ever really had a lot of success. So that's awesome for doing it for 9 years and keeping with it. I just want to congratulate you, Isaac, for sticking it out. And I wanted to just tell everybody else, and I saw in the comments somebody said, "Yeah, I'm committed to the time." Right? So I think that's the thing that I want you guys to take away from this is just commit yourselves to the time. I don't know how long it's going to take you. Every person's different, but know that if you're really serious about it, it's going to take a significant amount of time. So, yeah, so here's what Isaac's done. You can see he started right here at 500, and right now he's right up here. And he's had a really nice run, but he's had some dips. So recently he's really mastered his entries, and which is awesome. But because you can see his winning percentage has really jumped from here. But the cool thing is he's at 64% and he's close to a 1-to-1. So his numbers are better than mine, right? Because I'm at 58 and I'm a little higher on the risk to reward, but his numbers are really better. And I know he's taking more trades than me, but he's still doing really good. But the thing I really want to notice is initially he had some pretty big losers. Because I was just looking at his account. He had a $143 loser. He didn't follow the rules. He had a really big losing streak here. And emotionally, that was probably really hard on him because he went from 1,000 and then he went back down to 600. And then he even went down again to 480. So he actually started at 500, up to 1,000, and then down to 475. So this is a massive losing streak. And so I want to really congratulate him on taking and surviving a big drawdown, right? And as traders, we're all going to have to do that. And you can see where they happened. There was one here, and then one here, and another big drawdown here. And he just went through it, and every time he bounced back. So that's really good for him to be able to do that. And I've gone through that too a lot. And even on this spreadsheet, you can see it. Let's go. So this is mine. I went up. I had a drawdown, made a money comeback, drawdown, then a nice move, then a drawdown and a bounce, and then a drawdown and a bounce, right? And so you got to mentally keep your account alive and prepare for those drawdowns. But Isaac, I'm really, really proud of you, and I congratulate you. You're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work. Okay, so my euro yen is looking like it's about ready to go bye-byes. Okay, well, thanks everybody for being in. I'm going to go ahead and take off right now. It looks like we're going to get stopped out here. I don't know what's going to happen. Keep your eyes on it. I'll update you tomorrow fully. You'll see. I'm not going to take any more trades after these, except for maybe this USD CAD. If it does something interesting, if it pops up and then drops, I may take that. But other than that, I'm going to stay out of the market. Looks like I'm going to chalk both of these up as potential losers. So it could be a 3-day losing day after being up a decent amount several times, not really locking in. That's something that we can analyze and something you can learn from your own trading. When to lock in, when to take profit. It's a kind of a balancing act, and that's really hard thing to learn. And there's no real right answer on when to take profit. One thing that I've heard, and I try to take profit earlier now, is just because you never go broke from taking profits. However, that's not totally accurate because there's an opportunity cost that you could be missing. So if you take an early profit, well, what if it goes another 20 pips? You're actually missing out. So anyways, I just want to thank everybody. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. Have a great day. Really appreciate everyone as we currently are just about ready to hit it. Okay, so we just lost that. I'll be immediately analyzing that and adding it to the spreadsheet. So that was another losing trade, but it was only for $1. So one last chance on the Swiss yen. We'll see what happens with it. But thanks, everyone, and we'll see you guys really soon. Thank you, Corey. Hopefully you get your internet straightened out.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
All right.
Congratulations, Isaac. Good job.